Hello, everyone. This is Ashish, and welcome back to Art Podcast. And it's a special one. It's Art Podcast 200th episode. And we have walked a long way to get here. This podcast initially started in September of 2019. So it has been close to 7 years now. And my efforts all along has been in a single direction to help you guys make a better career. So somewhere around like 5 months ago, I knew that we are reaching towards 200th episode, and I was super grateful to what this community has given me, a gigantic platform, just on the basis of my skills and experiences that you have put so much trust on. So I wanted to give back. I spoke to 10 to 15 people ultimately out of the thousands of applications that I got, which is definitely not a great ratio, but they all really needed it. Going through their stories and their questions, I could see that they really needed it at this point. Speaking to all of them, the content easily became like 10 hours or so long. Of course, I can't have a podcast 10 hour long. So me and my team worked extremely hard to bring the best out of best into this podcast. So make sure you don't skip a part. Partial information is more dangerous than no information. So keep that in mind. Before we begin, just one little thing. I've written and published a book. It's called The Boy Who Did Not Sign. Many of you already read it, but some of you guys might be at fence. I don't know, Ashish. Is this book really for me? I'm not even saying go ahead and buy it to find out. I'm saying that you can find out for free just by going to Amazon's website and reading it for free. Kindle does that. Lets you read this book all the way into deep first chapter for you to understand what this book is about. A competitive examination aspirant's life has many aspects, and all of those aspects are covered and wrapped up in a form of a story you did not even know existed. All right, now getting into the podcast, let's go. I think that if you are preparing for competitive examination, you should be studying for 10 hours a day. That is something which comes with a big if, though. Like, if you are having a job, full time or part time, then I don't think you will be able to study for, like, say, 10 to 12 hours on your working day, right? So on a working day with job, like the way I did it and the way I've seen a lot of students do it as well, is that I would be able to manage like 5 to 6 hours max, which is the number that you are quoting right now, right? So is that number for a day where you're working, or what, or
Yeah,
is it a holiday?
when I'm working, and my part-time job is actually very flexible, so it's not like I have to be on my table and do my work.
How many hours do you invest to your job?
I think 5 hours now.
5 hours, okay, decent. So I would say that you should invest somewhere around like 7 to 8 hours to study, right? Because you got some more hours compared to regular job. So so now my question would be like, do you track it? Like, what do you do? Do you scroll Instagram? Do you watch movies? Do you talk to do you watch movies? That's a big yes on
No,
movies.
I don't. I don't watch movies. I scroll Instagram, and then I'll think what I've even done. Like, I don't do anything productive. I feel I have quit my hobbies. I don't have a routine, and my whole day revolves around just studying and UPSC. It's like my personality have become
But wait,
about that.
that
I'm
is
just UPSC.
but then that is your routine, right? Why do you say that you
Yeah.
don't have a routine, right? Do you wake up at a fixed time every day?
No.
You sometimes wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes at 10
Yeah.
o'clock. Wow. Okay. So that's the first thing that needs to change, right? You will have to start to incorporate discipline in your life, because I'm almost ready to bet on this, and I'll let you be the judge. I think when you wake up, say 10, 11 o'clock, your motivation level is lower, right? Like, you'll think that, oh, almost all the day is gone, right? Now I'll postpone my whatever study to tomorrow. If you're consistently waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning and your job does not really demand it, then it's actually fine, because I'm guessing that you will be studying late night. But if the case is like you are very flexible with that, you need to change that. And that starts with putting an alarm to go to bed 30 minutes before you want to go to bed. or need to go to bed, whatever your schedule asks for. And moreover, you will have to do things like, if you are into it, like cut down caffeine or tea or things like that late, so that it does not really bother you. um, Start winding down like an hour before, because whatever you could not do today is just going to carry forward. You can stay up 2 hours now, or you can stay or wake up 2 hours earlier tomorrow. It wouldn't make a difference. Please don't compromise with your sleep in a way that you're sleeping, say, less than 7 hours or so. That's a given, but apart from that, you do need to get to a discipline. If your job really needs it, or whatever work you do, if that is the case, I would always say, before you start working, put some time in your studies, because that is what really matters right now. Job, I'm guessing, is just something that you want to sustain, right? Like source of income, a career that is going on, whatever. But the main thing that is going to matter is your preparation. That is the most important for you. That's your future. So do that first. Like I will say, put like as much as 2 hours before you start doing anything else in your life, so that your most efficient time goes in that. And then you'll feel also that, okay, that much amount of time was productive, because you can be beat up all day and super tired, and then you invest 4 hours and it won't be 4 hours, it will probably be 2 hours. And that's pretty much given. That happens to everybody. So what I've seen amongst aspirants a lot, at least in aspirants who are actually serious, is that they curse themselves too much and do not understand the limitations of human beings. So limitations being like, you can't be having a job and working all day and after that study for 2 hours efficiently, as if you just woke up. Also, coming back to my point of like a weekly break, you see degradation in your efficiency or your focus, say on the third day or so. And that means that you went too hard for 3 days consistently, right? And then your body is a bit tired. So maybe doing a little bit of low day that day is good. That is where you actually do a little bit of Instagram scrolling, or uh, YouTube, or whatever you do, so that you get some recreation and you get bored of that, then come back to studies. If you're really serious about this examination, you won't be having trouble balancing these things. But also, like as aspirant, as an aspirant, I want you to understand your own limitations, right? If you were a machine, you would be able to go at it for 10 hours every day. And again, things you don't understand about being a human being is that a lot of things happen, right? You have a personal life, so everything cannot be up all the time. Maybe you have an issue with your boss or whatever, or your parents or family or some cousin, I don't know, some friend. So all the days cannot be equal. So understand that. Ultimately, what matters and what I end up telling aspirants is that what matters is the cumulative input that you do give. Say you invested 10 hours a day today with 90% efficiency. That's 9 hours. Tomorrow you give 10 hours again with 70% efficiency. That's 7 hours again. Now this 10 and 7 gets added. It's still better than 10 hours when you spend 0 hours the next day. So even if the next day you have 50% efficiency and you still spend 10 hours studying, that's 5 hours. But in that 10 hours, in the beginning of 2 hours, you said that, oh, I'm at 50% efficiency, I'm not going to study today that much. Then you have just like 2 hours instead of 5 hours. So simple math, all you can think of it is like what happens at the end is what added up. So do the best. Like I said, if it is like 3 days later you're super tired, yeah, maybe have a 5 hour day with still like 50% efficiency, and you still added like, say, 2.5 hours. It's just random numbers. Nobody really knows how many hours you added, but you got a little bit of recovery, and next day catch up again. And also, like, don't get disheartened, because that will again drop even more of your performance, right? So you'll have to understand these things from more like a human perspective.
Another follow-up question. Like, I know that I have to be an IPS officer, but it's a long journey. one one day I'll be very motivated, next day I'm not. I know that I have to be consistent. Motivation doesn't work. But still I don't, study. Why am I doing that? Like I don't know. Like just let me know what is it that makes me, just sabotage my career by myself.
But I think you are studying. You do study, right? It's not like you don't
Yeah.
study. So why would you
I
say
study.
that?
I do study, but what happens is I know, like I have done my work. Everything is done. I'm not practicing questions. I feel I'm lacking somewhere. Like if I look at someone else, okay, they have done this. They are done with those mock tests. They are done with test series. I've not written them. I've just made notes. I've revised them. I'm
Then do
lacking
that.
behind.
Then do that. Put that in your to-do list. It's as simple as that. That's just the anxiety of competitive examinations. That's what makes us good. Like we are always competitive, right? We are always looking out for gaps in our game. And that's what really makes us good enough to crack that examination. So I think what you should do is embrace it. It's like, oh, I'm not doing that. All right. Saying that is not enough. I'm going to note it down and actually allocate a time in my calendar when I'm going to do it. Take those steps. Take steps, take actions, and actually do the things that you're saying that you're not doing, right? Maybe you watch someone say something and they are like, I do this, and at the same time you question like, I don't do this, and then it's just lost, right? It's lost in your head somewhere until you're reminded about it again, right? But at that time when you're feeling that way, use that and like I said, allocate some time in your calendar and like, this is when I'm going to do it, and when the time comes, you do it. That's what I'm saying. Like nothing makes competitive examination aspirants good better than competition. This is the name of the game, right? So this part of being an aspirant. You just always are lacking in something, or you're always doubting yourself, and that's what makes us good in any field actually. You questioning yourself and you thinking that you're not good at what you do is ultimately what is going to make you good if you take the actions, right? If you look at it in a positive sense. Got it. So let me try to summarize what you're saying over here. You're saying that you are struggling in your life to achieve something you don't have right now, and it is probably a big task. But life does not stop, and it is constantly being brutal on you, as it is for most of us. And some problem in your job or your family or relationships is always going on, and sometimes these are massive. So just to take an example, if there's a breakup, if there's a heartbreak, or there's a loss in family, something like that, right? So these things are not really going to care if you are struggling to achieve something big, say trying to crack UPSC examination, something like that. And in this situation, when you, apart from all the stuff going on in your life, when you try to study, you're not able to focus because your mind is not there, or at least partly not there, right? And you would want to focus like a saint towards your studies, and you would like to have full concentration, and then you'd also start thinking that others in this competition might not have the same problem, so I need to do something better so that I'm able to perform to my best. Is that right?
Yeah, basically I would just like to have a switch that okay, now I would focus.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I got your question correctly. Now let's go to the answer. Okay, I think you have a two part, you can get to the second part later. Yeah. Let me answer this part. Okay, sure. What you need to understand and accept is that nobody in this world trying to achieve something big ever has a very serene mindset. Like there's absolutely nothing going on. What you read in The Boy Who Did Not Sign, and why you are able to relate to it, like you see Ashwin going through so many other problems, like problems at Scar Academy, problems with relationships, and so on and so forth, and still wants to crack ISRO examination. So it's never really mentioned how he sits down and studies regardless of all the things, for example rebellion and all those things going on, which was like essentially right at the point where he needs to focus a lot on something else. So I think that's where your gap is, that I don't understand how Ashwin does that, and I'm in the same situation. I'll tell you how he does that. He does that because he accepts the turmoil. He just accepts that this is the way of life. You need to start understanding that there is never going to be a point in your struggle where no other problem exists. So your problem is your problem, which you chose. So whatever you chose, I don't even need to know. You chose to prepare for some examination, you chose to start a company, whatever it might be, right? That is your struggle that you chose. Life doesn't give a shit. So it will happen. And as you go through your 20s and maybe in your 30s, it just becomes worse and worse in the sense of complexities, right? In your 40s, you'll have more problems, health problems. Your joint might start aching. In your 60s, you have even more problem. So it never really gets any better. But you can get better in understanding and accepting that this is how it works. So I want you to know that next time when you sit down to study, when all the garbage stuff is happening in your life and nobody is really helping you out, I want you to take responsibilities and say that I'm going to do despite of this. You understand? So say you are not able to put 100% of your effort towards your preparation in some examination. Okay, not 100%. If you are a mechanical engineer, I would explain it like this, like there's something called Carnot efficiency, right? And it's never 100%. No efficiency is ever 100%. Absolutely nothing is at its optimum at 100%. The optimum is generally like 70% or so. Do you know internal combustion engine wastes most of its energy through heat? You know that, right? That's why your under the hood is so hot all the time. So it's not efficient, but it works. You need not be efficient to be successful. You just need to be working. But even if you sit down for 4 hours, and today some crap happened at my work, and so I'm not able to focus that well, but I'm still going to focus at 50% efficiency, the work is still done in a sense that you took a step, you added the work. It's a cumulative growth, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, and that is what I was like asking, that what was the mindset, and yeah, it answers the question.
This is the mindset. Yes, you need to understand that people who do it, people who do big tasks, they have same issues, some other issue, but of the same magnitude. They just accept it and they say that I'm going to do despite of this.
I am trying to do that, so I wanted to understand that you have switched your jobs like pretty fast, I would say, like 1.5 year next switch, then 1.5 year next switch, and these are different domains. Like one is space in industry, then before that was nuclear industry, and then now maybe in production or something, I don't know, but yeah, these are pretty vast and like across countries. So yeah, there is something that I'm missing here.
No, you're not really missing anything. So having a full-time job is difficult, you need to understand. And people who look at my life from a very wide lens, from a distance, often have a lot of misconceptions. I was just talking to another guy like a few weeks ago. Now that was a free call as well, just for our 200. And his concern was like, I don't want to leave my job. He was like, I don't want to leave my job. I want to spend time with my friends and family. I don't want to sacrifice all of it. And he read the book as well, right? So he was like, I don't think we should do that. And I'm like, yeah, you don't think you should do that, so you should not do that. But say Suvadeep or Ashish or some other person, what they should do, only they can decide, right? Just like we were talking about like 15 minutes ago, you decide what you want to do, right? So Ashwin Taksh is not the North Star. He is not what everybody else should end up doing. He is not even what I will be doing, because I grew up and it's like 5-7 years later. So that is not the only way to do it. Yeah, it's very romantic and it's very motivating and it's very cinematic the way he takes decisions and takes risks and stands up against a system which is 60 years old. That's all fun, but that does not also mean that everybody should be doing it. And also, everybody's circumstances are different. So, for example, what did Ashwin Taksh really learn about nuclear science and engineering? Like, to be really honest, he was there for 14 months, but what did he really learn about nuclear science and engineering, and what was his contribution to nuclear science and engineering? Absolutely nothing, right? He might have understood what nuclear reactors are and how it work, and he might have understood about criticality of a nuclear reactor. All right, he did courses, right? But he was the last. He was the last in the academy, right? For good reasons. He was the last because others learned more than him. This is like a fact. Not everybody goes like that. You might be, for the past 3 years, actually learning what you're doing at your job. You are growing. Maybe you even got a promotion. You have some skill set that you got from your job. Ashwin would be there from 9 to 5, not a second longer than he would need to, and he would not listen in class. He would be in the back seat solving numericals. He would prepare for examination overnight, one day before, right, in 24 hours or 12 hours, and somehow barely pass. He is not really planning to stay over there. You being over here for 3 years, at least at some point you would have planned to stay over here for some time. You were not going to jump boat right away. So that is your path. Having a full-time job is difficult, and doing something else along with that, it's extremely difficult. It's difficult on you mentally, it's difficult on you physically. So if you have decided that 9 to 5 is actually, and sometimes it's 9 to 7 along with traveling and all, if you think that this is actually something I want to sustain, you have to understand your foundations right now. And many times, for example, the story you're saying, I've talked to many people in those situations. 3 years having the same job, I know pretty much how difficult it would be right now for you to grow to a completely different field. It's completely possible. But to your situation, if this helps you even a little bit, I'll say what you need the most is patience. You have to have that. You have to have patience to walk into an office you don't want to walk in every day, to listen to a person who's your manager who you don't maybe respect and don't even think that is very competent and is actually dictating your career in this company, to work with people who might have betrayed you before, who might have played politics against you. You are in that situation, and many people go through that. Look at people who are doing PhDs. Talk to them who are in fourth year of PhD. They'll have similar story. They can't be jumping careers every 2 years like the boy who did not sign did. It's not possible for them. Then nobody will be doctors in this world, right? Some people just have to stick with it. Some people just have to show patience. And you never know. Ashwin Taksh 7 years later will be having the same problem, and he might have dealt with that problem differently than how he dealt with it in SCAR. You in your situation understand your problems and your solutions the best. Look at that, right? Many people who have not read a particular book or have not watched a particular movie, they do this with the people around them. Like they compare, like that person did that from a very, again, distant bird watching camera, and they don't even know the finer details.
I don't get sleep at night. That is a main issue.
You don't get sleep at
Generally,
night? How much do you sleep?
yeah, like I sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 7:30.
Hmm. What
And in
what
the
would you
after,
say? What's the reason for that?
since I have already started my preparation, so I'm investing a lot of my time so that because there are so many PSU exams also coming up this year.
Yeah.
So I just want to make myself ready for those exams. I have appeared for the SAIL exam recently, Steel Authority of India Limited.
Yeah.
It went quite good from my side.
Okay.
Probably I could be shortlisted for interview as well. What I assume, because technical out of 50 questions, I have answered 47. Only 3 questions because I forgot some of the formulas because I am not in touch with them.
Understood.
So only 3.
But I am concerned that you're not sleeping very well. Yeah, I think you're not sleeping more than 3 hours.
3 hours in the night and 1 to 1.5 hours in the afternoon.
Okay.
afternoon nap.
That makes me feel a little bit better. But the reason for you not sleeping is just that you have so much work to do and you have to study a lot.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
need to study a lot. Sometimes the tension also keeps on coming into my mind.
you have a lot going on right now, and I think if you have to take care of someone, take care of yourself and do it well. And there are a lot of things that you still can do. One of it would be sleep more. All right, you're not sleeping enough. How long
Yeah,
have you been sleeping like this? Like 4 hours, 5 hours a day or so?
since 2021.
Okay. I want you to have at least 6 hours of sleep. Okay. And
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying this just for health reasons. I'm saying this for what you want the most. I'm saying this for your preparation. And you know
mm,
that I've been there, right? I've prepared for competitive
yeah,
examination. So I'm saying
yeah,
this from my experience. If for nothing,
mm,
do this for your preparation. You're already having like not able to remember a lot, right? You don't even know
mm,
if that is because of meds. That just might be because of not sleeping much. Because I've
mm,
done crazy sleep routines, and in many of those I've had issues with remembering a lot of stuff. So sleeping definitely helps with your memory. You're preparing for a mental examination, and in this
mm,
you have to be mentally very strong, right? And a huge part of that comes from sleeping. So
mm,
wherever you are right now, sleep 1 hour more. So go to bed 1 hour before, and whatever routine you have, fix it properly. I totally understand that your tension, worry that is in your brain because of so many things that is going on in your life keeps you up
mm,
a lot of times, but that cannot happen every day, right? So I mean, what I mean by that is that someday or the other you'll be so tired that you'll just fall asleep. And you might have, since you've been doing it
yeah,
for a long time, it's not like it happened in your life 3 years ago. This is your entire life. And a lot of
yeah,
a big reason why you're able to operate so well, in a sense that you're still getting
mm,
results, is
mm,
because you're habituated with it, which is great. I mean, you are a person who can survive in many situations where most of us can't even imagine surviving, right? Because you've been in pressure
mm,
for a long time. So that's your strength. um,
mm,
that is, if nothing, you get to learn from me. That's what you have to learn. Like, that struggle is actually going to be
mm,
your strength. And 5 years later, when you see other people crumbling in pressure and not being able to survive in bad situations, you'll understand that you are able to survive that as if it's your breakfast, because you've been through that for a long time. So take that all. It's all well and good, it's all your strength, but increase the amount of hours that you're sleeping. That is for your recovery, from your physical recovery, for your mental recovery. And whatever you're doing, for like, I have to prepare for this examination, try to think the other direction. How can I be more efficient with the less time that I have, right? How can I use this time efficiently? One, I can say by experience, is that just by sleeping more, the hours that you are awake helps you be more efficient. So that's just one way you're getting 15 to 30 minutes at least back. Rest, like, think about how can I plan better? How can I repeat less for the things that I do not need to repeat at, right? Strategize it better. So these are
mm,
the things that you need to focus on yourself. Rest, your aims are pretty clear. You're going to focus on um, number one, JRFs, number two, coaching institutes, number three, you're going to still keep on looking for some jobs, even in private sector.
mm,
Keep your eyes open, right? Keep your eyes
mm,
open. You have an IIT tag now. Always remember that. And with that IIT tag, a lot
mm,
of doors open up, at least in India. So keep your eyes open for that. Keep applying for government jobs. That's all well and good. Do it strategically and make sure you take care of your brain and body. You have a long way to go now.
mm.
How old are you? Are you 24, 25,
26,
20,
26 and a half.
26? You have a long way to go. And you will realize that if you beat up your body like this, at one point it will be kind of overexerted. see, I'm turning 32 this year, right? And I've been working hard since I was 18. The reason I'm still well and good and my body is able to take that much amount of pressure of writing and career and so many other things that I'm doing at the same time is because I take care of my body very well. And you are supposed to do that too, all right, so that you work in the more efficient manner, you work in a creative manner. When you're rested, you can think of more options and more opportunities. So that's what I want you to focus on right now. Just focus on yourself, focus on your body. You're in a good spot already. You have skills, you have worked hard, you have talent, and you have the ability to deal with pressure. It's just that if you increase the efficiency, you'll be unbeatable.
I've read your book multiple times.
Yeah.
Shared with my friends.
Oh, really?
Enjoyed. It was a great today.
Okay. Very nice. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. When did you read it first?
After launching, so after 1 month, I bought the first copy. Even I have the copy right now with me. Yes, this copy.
Okay, very nice, man.
From the book, then what message you would convey to the to the not the youth, like for the people who are struggling in their career, like maybe in many ways they feel they're stuck, they want to do something else. So in through your book, what message, the core message you want to convey?
I would say take actions. That's what most people don't do. Everybody struggles. Not everybody takes actions. So in the book, you'll see Ashwin Taksh takes actions every time. Now, in the beginning of the book, he takes action even though he fails in a particular examination. In the end of the book, even though he's in bad spot and literally looks like he has no options, like that's basically how it is shown. Like everybody else has at least 2 options, Ashwin has 0 options, right? That's how it is depicted by the time you are in chapter 10. But Ashwin shows that he has more than 10 options even in that stage. Go and read that chapter again. That's what you're going to understand. That even though this guy has his back against the wall and world would think that he has no options, he has more options than anybody else. There is another line by Ganesh, you might not remember it, but he says to Ashwin that even though we all had choices, you are the only one who had the ability to choose. This is again somewhere around 10th chapter or so. And that is what a single message, if I had to say, the book has many messages, but if it is a single message I have to say, I'll say that, yeah, everybody struggles, but everybody does not take voluntary actions. You can always do something, but not everybody does that. And even fewer people, like, yeah, most people don't do anything, most people don't take actions. Some people take actions, and even fewer people do everything that they can. So that's even like the creamy layer of creamy layer. Few people do the best they can, and that's very rare in this world. So I would say if you can't get to that 3rd level, at least get to that 2nd level where you are actually doing something. Don't be in this state of self-pity, or life is like this, life has a lot of struggle, oh, I was born like this. Okay, what are you doing about it? That's the question, right? That's if I have to boil it down to a single lesson or message.
Thank you so much for the knowledge you shared with me. Thank you.
No problem, Asif. I hope I could help you in any way.
Yes, you could have. This book I read many times, and every time I read, I get a sense of something to do.
Read it again now that you have spoken to me. Now you will get more messages that I never talked about before. Okay?
Yes.
So while growing up, have you always questioned your actions? Because I haven't been to college, if I can say that, because my college is very local and I go there for examinations only because I was preparing for NEET. So I didn't got that environment to question myself. Last year when I got to know about your channel, your book and everything, it did something to me that I started questioning myself. I was always a studious person. So my parents wanted me to be a doctor, and I didn't question much. I just went in with the flow. And when I didn't got selection then last year 2024 I started questioning myself, my interest and everything. Then I got to know though, okay, I'm not in my field, this is not what I actually want to do. I actually want to be a lawyer, so that's why looking forward I gave clat this year.
I see.
7th of the December my examination was there. So I'm waiting for my results. So I always thought that you got that edge of getting into college early.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you believe so?
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that I got lucky in many points of my life, and yeah.
But I haven't been into college, and my academics are also not well because I have been taking 3 and 4 years of drop now.
That's true. So that is why I always tell aspirants, right? Like you take that next step as soon as possible. If you have been following my content, I never suggest taking drops until unless you have to. And in the past, like 5-7 years of me doing telephonic consultancy, anytime any student comes and tells me that I've been doing 2 year drop, I've been doing 3 year drop, my suggestion ultimately has always been like, stop right now. Start with anything. Like, get enrolled with anything, especially for NEET aspirants, because they're so blocked, because some don't have mathematics, even some who do, they were not really thinking about engineering. I'm like, just start thinking, especially if you have mathematics, start thinking about it, because most of us who did engineering did not really enroll into a great engineering college, right? Most of us just average to below average, but the university gives you an opportunity where you meet people and just start working towards any professional degree, right? It can be any kind of engineering, but it is a professional degree, and you can start thinking how you're going to make a living. So it is very important for you to make that next step, and drop is really detrimental if the exam does not work out for you. And if it works out, it works out. If it does not, then that is a gap of you doing basically nothing, right? You did nothing for a year. That's not only just hard to explain later on, but also like you just spend some time not gaining skill, right? That, like, especially like students from 18 to 30, like all the way to 30, it's very critical time. Like, every day counts. Forget about a year. Every day, how you build yourself is very important. So yeah, I tend to agree with you over there. Like, yes, just get into college as soon as possible, and whatever happened. You spent 3 years, you're not alone. But I'm very happy that without even talking to me, you already made that decision, like, I'm going to switch path. That's good.
Your videos were very inspiring.
Okay.
And I always wanted, but when I started watching your video, I come to know that, oh my god, I wish I could be him. I wanted to be the place like him. Whatever you have achieved, I really want to achieve like that.
Yeah.
So one more question I have,
Yeah.
that what if I do not get selected into law college, which exam I gave?
Yeah.
Should I really apply? If I get into some good college, or say I do not, can I? Should I go for engineering?
Okay.
I don't know. Should I really take a moment? I'm 22. Should I really go into engineering, because I have developed some ways that you can give 12th examination again and get enrolled in JE and everything like that? Should I consider at 22 engineering college?
Yeah, I think it is worth it. But
22.
if it is, yeah, why not? Why not? This age to degree concept is very Indian concept, actually. If you look at everywhere outside India, they get into engineering programs all across. Like, you'll see people getting into PhD courses by the time they're 33, because they actually pay for their own studies or whatever education they have. So it is very common, say in America, for someone to be like, say, 24 to enroll into engineering and start their engineering. Matter of fact, it's not common in India, but it's not unheard of in India either. Like, in my university, just random university, there was one guy who was like 26. And that's where he started his engineering and was in my batch, and because he was making a living before, right? Not everyone's parent can support them, so he got into engineering later. I think eventually India will also go in that direction, because it's just so many opportunities of doing engineering, but also like not everyone can afford it. So at some point people will be like, okay, I'll first become a Swiggy delivery guy, make some earning, or I'll first work at the shop, or I'll first take care of my family business and make some earnings out of it, and then I'll pay for my education, right? So that is why like age really does not matter. Now I see your point that stigma will be in Indian uh, hiring system in a way that I don't think that can change immediately, right? But then again, you always have to think, like I thought, like, oh, I wasted my 11th and 12th, now I have to do excellent in my engineering to make up for it. Right now you can say that, oh, I am 3 years behind, so I need to do extraordinary so that nobody even thinks twice and even looks at my age. I'm so good at what I do, right? So you can work on like doing research projects, you can work on doing internships, you can work on doing learning extra skills. Like people always look at, oh, he's a bronze medalist, he's a 9.42 CGPA, but people don't understand that I did 5 internships in all the summer and winter vacations I could. I also learned like 7 different 3D modeling softwares, including analysis softwares, and I spent literally all of my vacations working on my skills on the side, right? So when you bring that resume, nobody even thinks twice. They don't really think about your age, right? So that's why I say you need to start, because that's an opportunity, and then you need to really grab it. Like you have to really work hard to make the most out of it. So I really don't think that your age should matter. I also don't think that getting into law, if that is really what you want to do, should be that difficult. Like same thing applies over there. You get into a school which teaches you engineering, or you get into a school which teaches you law. It doesn't matter, right? You have to excel in any field. I don't think it would be that difficult for you to get into a university, just or compared to like engineering. But it now depends on like what you really want to do, right? You have to look at like a career that is 20 years in front of you. You want to be a lawyer like 10 years later as well, or do you want to be an engineer, right? I will say, however, and I will be highly biased in this, engineering does teach you a very holistic attitude towards pretty much everything. Like for example, doing engineering, I would always know how things work, like physical things works, how machine works, right? So I would not hesitate twice before getting into equipment that is needed to start working on my podcast or YouTube. Now, I was not a photographer, but I did not hesitate twice before picking up a camera, because I know technicalities of complex machines, right? So that's what I will say, and I will be honest that I'm probably biased on this. Yeah, yeah. I guess anybody can learn technical skills, but when it is engineering, what I'm trying to say is that you can even think outside engineering, and engineering really helps you do that, to actually leave engineering, and that's not, I think, a lot of field does.
I'm thinking to pursue a research oriented career. Is it really that rewarding? Should I pursue it? And what reality should a student like me understand before committing to it?
Hmm. Okay. So, with my experience, I can tell you that many people who want to pursue research actually glorify it a lot, right? Like, if I ask you, why are you motivated to pursue a career in research, what is your answer?
Because I believe that I can grow my knowledge base from it
Hmm.
and I can get a good exposure and a decent income, obviously.
Okay, exposure and what?
Knowledge
Just knowledge
and experience.
and experience. Knowledge and experience in what? What do you want to pursue in research?
I mean, in whichever field I'm doing the research, I get the knowledge of that field and experience of that field.
Okay, that's a completely different topic if you have not figured out what your field is. Okay, because that is the first driving thing which leads people to drive for or go for pursue for research, that you know what you want to pursue. So this is what I would expect. I think you are in senior secondary right now, right? Based on what you wrote down. So pretty pretty understandable that you would not know exactly what you would want to pursue at this point. Then my question is like, what is your motivation right now? I would want to briefly touch into what you said earlier, like a decent income, right? Like, what would you say is a decent income though? Like, income for some decent is 20,000 rupees a month, right? Because they can buy groceries in a, say, third tier city where living expenses are not as much. But for some, decent income might not even be 90,000 rupees a month, right? Say you're living in some part of Mumbai, that might not be enough. So, for decent income to be decent, what are your kind of hopes and ambitions? What would you say is a decent income?
Uh, 10 to 15 LPA.
Okay. Now, if I say that you are going to earn only 5 LPA, will you still do research?
No, maybe.
No,
But
maybe.
if I get like in government jobs like ISRO and BARC, they also get perks. So
Hmm.
maybe I'll adjust.
Hmm. Okay. ISRO and BARC is a very small category of research, right? Like very small percentage of researchers work in ISRO, BARC, or DRDO. You know the biggest percentage of researchers what they're doing? They're doing PhDs, right? Now they are no less of a researcher. I would say some of the PhD researchers do more research than any of the BARC, ISRO, or DRDO scientists do. And I can say this by personal experiences of knowing people who are doing PhD and knowing people who have worked in these organizations. Hell, I've been one of them as well, right? So if you say that your ambition is research, then there's more research in PhD where you'll be earning like what, 30,000 rupees a month. Like even abroad doing PhD, you're pretty much always at the bottom tier when it comes to income, right? So that's, I know this because many people have been asking me questions like this, right? Like, should I pursue a career in research? Because to most people, the answer is like, yes, I want to pursue a career in research if I get paid enough, right? Like, yes, I would like to pursue research, but if I'm paid enough, right? And the reality, speaking by experience, is that you will not be paid enough. The fact is that you'll always be paid lesser than others. BARC, ISRO, and DRDO scientists do get perks, privileges. Yes, central government job. Are they earning as much as ONGC employees? No. ONGC employees will always be earning more. BPCL, IOCL employees will always be earning more. This is a hard fact. They are going to be making more money, right? May it be 10,000 more, 15,000 more, that in the long run are going to be making more money, right? So the truth is, most of the researchers and scientists always earn less. And if you can live with it, then you can pursue a career in research. And if you're like, no, I want to make more money, no, research is not the career where you can even like compete with people with average jobs when it comes to living standards, right? So define your decent. Will you be making decent money? Like actually what is decent? Yes, you'll be making decent money. You'll be able to live, afford a rent, afford groceries and all that. Maybe a car loan, yes. And that when you get to those tier of research where you actually have a job, like ISRO, BARC, DRDO. But if you are doing like core research, say doing a PhD, no, most likely everything will be delayed. Most likely your marriage will be delayed if you aim to marry. Most likely your house, car, everything will be delayed because by the time you're done with PhD, you'll probably be 26, 27. But that is true research. And if you're looking for a middle ground, like research in BARC and ISRO, and that is also like not pure research. Like industrial research is not pure research, right? You are going to be working on a product that has been worked on for a long time, and then you'll be doing technical work. That is true, but will you be leading your own project? No, it's an industry, right? All right, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Okay. Questions?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the last question I want to ask that
Mm.
what are some common mistakes that I should be avoiding while building a career?
Hmm. The most common mistake, um, right on top, would be listening to crowd opinion. Like if the crowd says that, oh, starting from your first question, right? Doing research does not really pay you a lot. Yeah, usually it does not pay you a lot. But I know that people who have patents, they are earning in crores. Then there would be like, okay, you need to study computer science engineering because that's the future. Mechanical engineering is outdated and it is not evergreen anymore. And people who are studying mechanical engineering are not getting job. Yeah, usually they are not getting job, but there are mechanical engineers who are getting better jobs than many computer science engineers. So listening to crowd opinion, which just talks in terms of like a homogeneous number based on hundreds of thousands of people, is usually a wrong way to approach your career. How you should approach your career is like, I want to do this and I also want to have this. For example, for you, I want to develop a career in research and I also want to make a lot of money. And there's like two people out of 5 billion people who have ever done that, right? Or nobody has ever done that before, but you should be like, I will find a way out, because early in the career you are young, and that's what young people are supposed to do. They're supposed to challenge society, they're supposed to question people, they're supposed to question the orthodox opinions. And if you're not doing that, then you are just one of those old people who have just settled for what everybody tells you to do. So question them all and find your own path. That's what I would say. This is the most commonly made mistakes, and this is the most commonly made mistake, and that is why, like, most people lead a very average career, because they don't question what they are being told by this crowd opinion.
Does it like I've been enjoying my time this like since 3 to 4 months. So is it really okay that if I enjoy, or do I have to just go for grind, or should I take breaks in between?
See,
I have been
that is what I was trying to explain in the beginning as well to you, the value of rest. So ideally, you would spend some time recreation wise, and you'll have to recharge and refresh, and you get back to your studies and you focus very well in your studies and you study very well and efficiently and you perform well in your examinations and all, right? At this phase of your life, it is a little too early, and people are generally a little too immature, in a sense that they pay attention towards things that don't matter, right? Like, I'm not saying you do it. I'm not saying everybody does it, but many people, um, they pay attention towards what their friends are saying. So if their friends ask them to go out on a trip or go out on dinner or spend money on something, they a lot of times do it by social pressure, trying to be cool and trying to be likable, right? Or say you just want to go out on a dinner because there's a girl that is going to be there, right? So right now, if your decision making is like that, then you're not doing it for recreation, but you might end up sacrificing time which is valuable for your career progression, right? So that's what you don't understand usually at that age. And that's why I was a little bit thankful later on that when I was 18, 19, I just stuck inside a library and studied and made those decisions later up, when I already had a strong root of already spending 2 to 3 years studying extremely hard, right? So I already had that base. So right now, if you don't have that base where you know how much result you can get in how much amount of time, you're kind of always playing a catch up, like you're chasing something, and you're acting by reflex, if that makes sense. In a sense, like, if there's an examination, I'll study. Or if there's a competitive examination this guy is preparing for, I'll prepare for that. But you never kind of chase things in a sense you are planned. Like, this is how I'm going to do it. These are my next steps. These are my capabilities. These are my skills. So if you don't sit down for a year and focus 100% on yourself, you don't know your strengths, you don't know your weaknesses, you don't know your skills, right? So in other form, you don't know a lot of times what you want to do. So that is why it is important. I generally refer to it as almost being in a cave for many years. And if you are in a cave for many years, isolated from the environment, then you are able to pay attention towards yourself. If you don't do that and look at yourself from others' perspective, that's what happens when you socialize too much. Then you start to shape your future ambitions. Like, say, I want to be great at dancing, I want to be great at football, I want to crack this examination, or I want to do this. These are probably shaped by your environment, right? And you don't even know, and you don't know until unless you sit down and focus on yourself alone, right? So it's not the greatest thing in this world to be isolated from the world. It's not socially good. Science and research has already showed the results of being isolated for too long. Human beings were not designed like that. But I can say from my experience that doing some of that early on in your life is important now, especially because now you have graduated your senior secondary. Now you are alone for the first time. Now you're far away from your family for the first time, right? Rather than directly being influenced by the world, maybe pay some time on yourself, right? That's all that I mean. And if you're able to do that while socializing as well, then that's great. But not many people are able to do that. And if I had to choose one, I'll focus on my career versus two, I'll spend next 4 years not knowing what I want to do with my life, then I'll definitely choose the first one. That's about it, guys. Thanks a lot for listening or watching this podcast. And like I said before, this is a very small fraction of the actual conversation length that we ended up recording, which we are still thinking how we can make it more accessible. So, any of your suggestions are welcome down in the comment section. And it was really helpful to be able to show it to you guys, my answers to their questions, because I know that these were one of the most commonly asked questions in most of the comment sections on my social media platforms. So, I hope it helped, and thanks to all of you for showing your support over the years. Art 200 is definitely a more than special moment for me and for the entire family of Talk 4712 that we have built. Especially talking to all of these people, what I realized is that these people have been following me for years and years, and many of them before 2020, like 2018, 2019. So these people have grown with me along with the channel, and seeing their growth has been really tremendous. And I truly appreciate the support that I get. It is my true intention to continue this endeavor of helping more and more people out to build a great career, helping out the youth, um, and solving their problems to the best of my knowledge, powered by my experiences. All right, thanks a lot. Saying it again, The Boy Who Did Not Sign is available in all the platforms that you can think of. It's available in soft copy, in a sense that Kindle, Apple Book, Google Book. It's available in soft cover, and then it is available in hardcover, whichever form or fashion you prefer. Links will be down in the description box. Like I said before, if you're still unsure, all you need to do is go and read a sample for free. You have nothing to lose. Thanks again for tuning in to Art Podcast. Hit like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. You know what to do. You're smart, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to end this podcast here. See all of you in the next one. Till then, bye.